Rob Fisher's with Red Rock Kia, right?
Yes, correct.
You actually heard about us through Josh Letzis and was about to sign up with another vendor, and you waited for our demo and ended up doing the demo with us. Tell me a little bit about how TECOBI's artificial intelligence and follow-up system has helped you at your dealership.
It's been a huge help. We've played the game with all the other automated systems. It just seems like those other systems are easily detected as AI. And also, I've had a customer that has literally walked into my showroom and asked to meet with a sales associate, and they already had an appointment set, and we had 99% of the car deal done. And I haven't ever had any other AI system get anywhere close to that. The biggest standalone with TECOBI for us has just been extreme follow-up. The follow-up that I've never had myself or another sales associate do.
I think most dealerships, we like to think we're following up with our leads for 30 or 60 or 90 days. But, when we mystery shop stores, we're lucky if we get a week of follow-up in most stores. The salespeople are usually looking for the low-hanging fruit. And when you end up with a ton of tasks in the CRM, it's just kind of overwhelming. And then you get a customer in front of you, and then all the tasks get forgot about. And what we've found at TECOBI is that the average customer right now is taking over 200 days to buy a car. It really takes a long amount of follow-up if you're going to work your leads. How far are you into your pipeline? 6, 7 months, 8 months?
I don't remember exactly. I think you're probably right. That's 6 to 8 month area.
And you're already experiencing some follow-up results of the AI following up with older leads and customers re-engaging.
We are. We're getting, we've been able to get a lot of our leads pulled out of our old CRM, loaded into this system, and then, they're re-engaging. And it really blew my mind because, I was under the presumption that, customers are buying in that, 24 to 48 to 72 hour window. And if they're not buying, then you've got them, somewhere in the next 7 days. The customers that it's wakening back up, it's crazy. I look through it and you can see the customer hasn't answered in 90 days, 120 days. And then all of a sudden they just answer, and TECOBI picks right back up with where the conversation was. And then it just drives that appointment. It's amazing.
We're one of the only companies that I'm aware of that's going to follow up with leads indefinitely until they buy or die via text message. Most of the other systems tap out at a certain amount of time. We'll literally follow up with customers for years via text message. And we see that pretty regularly where customers will be ghost for a whole year, and then all of a sudden, boom, they text, and it's like, okay, I'm back in the market. And I think what's happening is the customers will come in, do some research, and then back out of the market. So they're coming in, they're like, what's my trade worth? Oh, I'm 2 upside down. And when they back out of the market, they don't necessarily opt out of the text messages because they are technically still in the market. They're just not ready yet. They're waiting for something to change in their situation. And they want to see those offers coming over because they know they're going to eventually, make the decision to buy a car. So the opt-out rates in that long-term follow-up are actually pretty low. Our overall opt-out rate as a company is about 1%, and it's extremely low opt-out rates when you follow up with these leads long-term. So it is pretty crazy to think what we used to think about customers buying a car in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days is completely false. And most customers take a long time to make a purchase decision from the time of their first lead.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely changes the way you think about your approach to the business too, for sure.
And do you feel like it's relieved the pressure of having to constantly jump on your sales team to do follow-up that just was kind of overwhelming for them and that they weren't getting done anyways?
I think it does. It definitely eliminates the question of, is this customer being taken care of? I know for a fact they're being taken care of. If I'm being transparent, TECOBI's still my baby, man. I live in this thing every single day. I love it. So I jump in often and watch conversations and interject, but it does give me peace of mind that if the customer's in there, they will be getting the proper follow-up.
And that's when TECOBI works the best, is when managers actually embrace it and get involved in the system to watch these conversations, because without seeing it, it's kind of hard to believe. It's kind of hard to believe that, the system's going to re-engage someone that far out from when they first submitted their lead. As far as the artificial intelligence, how is the response bot doing? Because I believe you're using our response bot that can actually respond to customers and answer some of their questions and send them inventory and set up payments. Are you seeing that take some of the workload off of you guys having to respond to customers?
Yeah. Like I said, the response bot's what took over when we had that client reach out when we were buried. And and sent her a couple of examples of in-stock vehicles, sent her a credit application, sent her directions to the store. I looked at the whole thread. I was going to send it to you and be like, man, were you intervening on this? Because it was so human. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. And it seems like it's just getting better. And so everyone knows, like, we're not AI developers. We don't have billions of dollars to develop AI. We actually just use ChatGPT and OpenAI's system for the artificial intelligence that's integrated into TECOBI. And ChatGPT just gets better. And every time they release something, a newer version of ChatGPT, all of our clients get a benefit from that. I do feel like it's learning from the conversations that we're feeding it. And I mean, I've seen it say some really human sounding messages that are better than what the salespeople would typically say.
Yeah.
Because, salespeople will be pretty black and white sometimes, and they're not reading conversations, and they're not going back and looking at the conversation to see what the customer was talking about before. The AI is thorough. It knows all that conversation. It makes sure it's addressing those things.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy to watch it happen. It's almost unbelievable, to be quite honest. And I'm the guy that built it, and I can do it.
I was gonna say, we had a situation where a guy had disclosed to us that his wife had just died, and not making light on the story, but the AI response to it was, I would have sat here blank faced and tried to figure out what to even type back to this customer, because just the fact that they were communicating with us during that time period was odd. But AI just kind of floated them through it and put them at ease and comforted them. I was blown away by that.
So if you were going to tell another dealer that's thinking about TECOBI, what would you tell them?
Well, number one, I would just tell them to blindly jump in there. I can't find a single reason not to use it. I really can't. In my opinion, it's an ever-developing product. I've seen things come and go in here just in a short amount of time that I've been with you guys that have been extremely helpful. The simple fact that, that you get a hands-on meeting with the owner, the person that built it, is absolutely amazing. If you're concerned about the amount of time that you have to wait to get a demo of this, it's worth every bit of the wait. And there's not a wait time on some of these other systems, obviously, for a reason. There's nothing out that works like this. There's other companies that integrate AI. Their AI is simply there to fill time with the customers while you're waiting for a human response, versus letting this equipment and this hardware, letting it work and do its job. It's added another 4 sales associates to my team that are extremely good at answering internet leads versus a human just handling everything. So with other dealers, if you are questioning it, if you're concerned, if you feel like the wait's too long, wait it out and get signed up as quick as you can. You should have already had this running in your store.
And what he means by the wait, so anyone watching this, I've got a pretty long wait on my calendar. I'm booked almost 2 weeks out right now on demos. We don't have a sales team here. I actually use TECOBI every day. So when you submit your information, my AI is going to communicate with you. It's going to schedule the appointment. And then I'm just going to come in to demo after demo every day. I don't have a sales team because I think it's important that this product gets explained to the dealership properly. It does mean you have to wait a little longer. A lot of the other systems out there, they have a lot of availability for obvious reasons. We have a bit of a wait here. It's well worth the wait. It's worth waiting to see what I've invented, because this isn't like anything else that exists in the marketplace. It's truly an invention from a salesman who uses it every single day, the way a salesman would want to use AI. What would you say about onboarding and the process of onboarding? Because it is a pretty big change to the way you communicate with people, and it can be a bit intimidating to come in and realize, hey, I got to change all of the way I communicate with people and start sending my leads to a whole new system. What would you say about that process?
My process was super easy. We got all the information sent over to you guys. I jumped on several calls with your staff, who is absolutely amazing. Really seamless. The only hard thing was trying to figure out how to make the transfer from our primary CRM communication to TECOBI, and as far as how to get the team all on board. But your trainers did an amazing job of getting everybody comfortable with it. It's still an ongoing project as far as getting everything in there correctly and figuring out our internal process of how we handle stuff. But as far as onboarding, they grabbed it and they took control of it. They got all the information, and it was easy for us.
Yeah, so when we sign you up, we usually have you send us some CRM data, and we'll do some equity mining out of your DMS. But the CRM data, when we import that, we send a text message out. I always refer to it like it's shaking the tree, and then you see all the apples fall out of the tree. We truly do think we're following up, but the reality is we're just not following up as good as we should be. What did you think about the apples falling out of the tree when we text message that CRM data?
You know, it was just eye-opening. You know, you get stuck in your ways. You think that your communication is good. You think that you're following up and your team's following up with processes. You see it in the CRM. For some reason, TECOBI is able to get a hold of customers. It is able to get a response, and then the customers will pick right up where you felt like they left off, and it's driving results.
It's pretty eye-opening, and that's why we don't have a contract. So everyone, we do month-to-month agreements here. I don't believe in long-term contracts. I used to do long-term contracts when I didn't truly believe in my product, but I 100% believe in my product right now, and it's pretty eye-opening from the first day that you go live. You shake the tree, all the apples fall out of the tree, and you're like, oh wow, I guess I was missing stuff here. It's pretty clear, you know, the results. What do you think about the TECOBI team? Because we have the most reviews out of any vendor in the car business. So tell us a little bit about why we earn those reviews.
It's really just the support. I can send a text into the support line and get a response very quickly. I can reach any one of our trainers very quickly. If I have to onboard another sales associate, they're there to walk me through. It's almost like they're in another department in our office as far as just being able to get a hold of them. It's super easy.
Yeah, and we use TECOBI to manage that communication. So everything's done over text message, most of it. So you literally just text our customer service line. That comes into our queue, and then I have a whole team of people that are all working the queue so that you don't have to wait for one in particular rep to respond to you. And that's how we're able to stay efficient with our clients and provide excellent customer service, because that is a big challenge in the car business. I think with a lot of the big companies, they've just grown so big that you have to submit a support ticket, and then you got to wait 2 or 3 days for that support ticket to get answered, and then they don't answer it correctly. We're really big about customer service and making sure that you get your questions answered, and that we train your people, because that's another big part of bringing new software into a dealership. Is a lot of times these companies, you sign them up and then they do a group training, but then everyone's snoozing off in that training. No one's really paying attention. Your staff doesn't understand it. And then the product falls flat, and then you end up having to cancel it. So us taking that extra time to do one-on-one training with each user has made a world of difference in adaptation in the dealerships.